And we're continuing to learn Dirshu Mishnah Berurah, middle of Simin Nun Gimel. And today we're going to learn Sif Yud Aleph through Tazayin. Again, I keep on apologizing as we keep on falling behind. But hopefully now we're only within arm's reach and we'll get all these shiurim up in due time. So says the Machaber in Sif Yud Aleph, we're middle of learning who is Ra'ui, who is fitting to be a Shliach Sibur. Says the Machaber, Shliach Sibur, Shamarich B'tfilas like Yishmu Kol Yarif. Or Shliach Sibur, the length is in tefillah in order that his voice should be pleasing. Imu machmas shesomeach b'liboy. If the reason is that he's rejoicing in his heart in order to give a praise to Hashem, as we turn to the next page of Mishnah Berurah bin Ima, Tavayla bracha. That's a beautiful thing. You're being ma'irich, you're lengthening the praises of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But says the Machaber, it's only if he's davening with a heavy head and he's standing with fear and trepidation. Avol, says the Machaber, a startling line. He's doing it to hear his beautiful voice. And he's enjoying himself. He's putting on a concert. That's disgusting. So again, it's not necessarily how it sounds to the listener. It's what is his intention. Is his intention for the right reasons? Then it's beautiful. Tavala bracha. If not, areza meguna. Mikol makom, says the Machaber. Kol shamarach b'tvilasa loitayv. You always have to be careful to make sure that those who are listening are desiring that which you do. You don't want it to be a tircha de tzibura. Says Mishnah Berurah Sivkata Lamedalad Sheikh Sibur Mishish like called Nayim Yirani like Krish Baruch V'lo Sharon Nanis. If you have a beautiful voice, whatever Hashem gives us, we have to utilize in His service. You have to use it to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'im rakak, and let's say you have a little bit of phlegm, yikaneach bev, you should clean out your mouth as we turn over the page over there, and then v'achar kach yisbalo, and only afterwards you should daven. Meguna, says Mishnah Berurah Sivkata Lamed that if you do it for the wrong reasons, that's terrible. Sefer Chasidim. Mishnah Berurah quotes the Sefer Chasidim, Mishash Rani Shimon Gamliel Yatz Ladin Le'arik. At the time, Shimon ben Gamliel, Bishash Rabin Shimon Gamliel Yatz Ladin, when he's being taken out Lari to be killed. Amar Rabbi Yishmael Kain Gadol De'as Rabbi Yishmael, Achi, my brother, Ne'eman Yatz La'arik. Why am I being brought out to be killed? Amar Loi, so the Kain Gadol responds, Shama Yisa Darish Barabim. Maybe you're darshanim Sameach Livcha B'nanas B'divrei Torah, and you're rejoicing and you're getting benefit from your Torah. Amar Loi Achi Nichamti. You have consoled me. And again, Mishnah Berurah seemingly over here is quoting a similar type of din. The Machaber is talking about one who davens in order to hear his voice. Mishnah Berurah over here says similarly, one who darshins in order for himself, not for the appropriate reasons, is a similar meguna. And we continue Mishnah Berurah Sivkata Lamevav Atzibur Kasav Yam Shel Shemes Minon Asalo Laharich Shlel Bertone Kal. You're not allowed to be ma'irich. You're not allowed to daven lengthily without the desire of the people. Even that, says the Mishnah Berurah, even that could go too far. Because of Sheikh Sibur that he has an issue. If it sounds like it's broken, it's not good. Of course, the Talmid Chacham comes first. And this is a good trivia question. People often ask that we know many places a Kohen comes before a Levi and a Yisrael, but where do we have a scenario that a Levi takes precedence? And here is one of the unique scenarios that in order to be a Shliach Sibur, the Mishnah Berurah teaches us that a Levi comes before a Yisrael, but he concludes with teaching us, but of course, the Talmid Chacham comes before both of them. It continues the Mishnah Berurah continues the Machaber Sif Yud Beis. Ein mimanin mishakari la'alfin ainin alfin. An issue that many of us have, that we should not appoint someone to be a Shliach Sibur if he messes up his alifs and his ayins. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sivkata Lamed Zayin Pirush. Havaras ayin u'b'chayzik v'amuka yosef havaras aleph. The ayin is a bit of a deeper sound. And ayin, they say, more than the aleph. V'u'adin l'misha kair chesin hein, and those who mess up a chesin hey yosef kair l'shi boilas si boilas. Oh, but says Mishnah Berurah, if everyone talks that way, Motor Aliyah Sheikh Sibur, and I guess for us Ashkenazim, and many of us are Aleph and Ayin sound similarly, that would be the, I guess we'll call it the Limitz Chos, as Mishnah Berurah says, if we all sound the same way, it's not a problem. But you should know further. If you can't say any of the letters are properly, you should not be appointed to be Sheikh Sibur. Because the Mishnah it doesn't change the meaning. A bit of a lengthy Mishnah Berurah. Also, we'll call it a bit of a not so unique Mishnah Berurah in that he's lengthily explaining Kasha and Teretz, but we'll leave it at that. Mishnah Berurah continues, if there's no one else, right? Then you're allowed to put him up even so he messes up his haze and his chassis. The Bnei Moshe argues, unless he could try hard and do it, then he could be the Sheikh Sibur. Ben Mishmura says, and even if you're going to let him be the Sheikh Sibur, but be aware that it's only for this time. He should not be the chazan steadily, and the next day you should have someone else. As is the story with Rav Chia in the Gemara. And we continue. We're going to take now Sif Yud Gimel and Yadalah together. Says the Machaber, Poicheach. What does that mean? Vumisha Bigdai Karua, his clothing is torn, his race and Megulam, and his arms are revealed. Lo Yiri Lefnei Ateva, should not have it for the Amud. And in Sif Yadalah says the Machaber, Suma Yiri Lefnei Ateva. One who's blind is yes, let a daven uvachli ikra batera. He should not lane. Misham devarin shebachsav yiterash lemar alpeh. You're not allowed to say devarin shebachsav the teira balpeh. And finally, sifkat tezvav sheikh sibur kavua yerled neativa me'atzli amtin shemer loy. Sheikh sibur kavua is that to go daven for the amud without someone asking him. Says Mishnah Berurah sifkat lamatas whose ra'aisav and his arms are revealed. V'gam kisef of his shoulders. L'neativa la'asir sheikh sibur l'isvalel. That he's allowed to have come in a because it is a genai to the tzibur for someone to be davening with his arms. And the Mishnah Berurah is explaining it's not just that his arms are revealed, his shoulders are revealed, and there actually are places that are makbid, not necessarily for one to wear a jacket, but at least have long sleeves, that his entire arm should be covered. But over here, the Mishnah Berurah is telling us that it's not necessarily the entire arm, it's more the upper arm that is the issue. Continues Mishnah Berurah, if katem emal, suma someone who's blind, afilu b'shteinav, even with two eyes, he's allowed to down for the amud. V'chayiv v'chol mitzvahs min ha'teira, t'kaim l'kerabanan, and Rabbi Yehuda, we hold like the Rabbanan. But shuvas chavas yoyers, even kavayin vav, ha'el ha'shafal pikin, le'yismal suma b'yam and the rayim, you shouldn't daven yam the rayim. Afilu b'achmeinav, even if he's blind in one eye, hechadikach ha'rayil v'agin gotibai, if there's someone else as good as him. Ayin sham taimo in the chavas yar. P'sefer li'arabah, chelik lav, he argues the near ali, says Mishnah Berurah, says Mishnah Berurah, even the Chavas Yair with blind in one eye, it's only that he shouldn't be appointed l'chatchila, but we should not remove him from being Sheikh Sibur if he became blind. Sheikh Sibur, sheish like vedos aznayim, he's hard of hearing, sheina shemei klal, he can't hear at all. Not just that he's hard of hearing, says Mishnah Berurah, he's deaf, he can't hear at all. Kiveger holds he should not be a Sheikh Sibur. Daf im lo yishmil ozna yatsa. Even though one who cannot hear him here is yotzim mikomakam kivim del chatchila zarch lashmil ozna. Since initially he has to hear his ears, ein mitzi acher lechatchila. He should not be mitzi someone else lechatchila. And the Mishnah Berurah in the Shartzi Lamed Ches points out that Masha Minir of Kiveger sounds afilu b'shari me'ashana. Sounds like a whole year long, not just on the Yom Narayim. The look shari tshuva do azal rak l'tashbeitz. So machshli b'shas alchach chasaron b'mash inu meshmil la'azam kvar yisigvi v'yeger v'nir shein shas acher kam Rav Keviger would be matir. And of course, whether hearing aids in today's society will change this is a point of contention. We conclude with Sifkatim and Beish Lo Yikri. He's not reading the Torah and the Kamon Sif Kuf Lamates Sif Gimel Ba'Ga, and we did read Sif Tes Vav, but the Mishmur is on the next page, which we do not have. So we'll pick up from Sif Tes Vav and Mirz Hashem in the next year.